Boo, everyone. Welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. Give me a moment as I go ahead and invite our Spanish-speaking guests. Bienvenido y gracias por ver 3 o'clock con SOC. Si quieres acceso al programa en español, por favor, marque ese número que aparece en la pantalla, cuál es 646-749-3122. Cuando le conteste su llamada, marque 779-328-221. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our our October 30th show. It's almost November, but we have a little bit of SOC traditional blue here to celebrate tomorrow. We thank you so much for joining us. Just so you know, you can find a link to recorded English and Spanish versions of the show on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. In addition to that, I'm Andrea Rodriguez. I'm the Leadership Coordinator for Southside Organizing Center. I'm so thankful to have our producer today, Maria Perea, who is joining us. She's also our community organizer. Travis Hope, another community organizer, is doing comments for us. We also have Marlene Zaran, who is doing our guest support. And then later on, Tammy Rivera will be joining us for our main interview today. But besides that, just so you know, even though we are working from home and being safe because of COVID-19, we do promise you SOC has not missed one day to be with you, and we're always here for you if you ever need us. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can call us at 414-672-8090. You can also find our email us as well as soc@socmilwaukee.org, or you can find our website at socmilwaukee.org as well. In addition to that, we're also checking our Instagram, we're checking LinkedIn, we're checking our Facebook page, of course. So anywhere you'd like to reach us, we are definitely here for you. So yes, while we're working from home, we definitely want to make sure you're safe. And as we can see some numbers of you out today, we can't necessarily see who is out there, just the number of you. So we would love for you to say hi to us in the comments. Tell us anything that, any questions you might have about today's show, or if there's an idea that you have for another show, we would love to hear from all of you. And also, I would love to issue a little challenge. We do have our SOC survey. It takes about 3 minutes to complete, and it is so very important as we're planning future episodes. So I'd love to challenge 3 of you to fill that out today. You'll find the links in our comments for that as well, so it'll be easy. But it's a really, really fast survey, and it is so helpful for our future shows. Besides that, I do want to give a very quick disclaimer. The views and opinions shared today do not necessarily reflect those of SOC. So we thank you so much, and we want to make sure we're representing our people, but we just want to make sure that we're clear about our disclaimer as well. Some other announcements. Today is our Organizing Leadership and Community Development Day. This is what we do every single Friday. I'm very thankful that I get to moderate and be with our team on this day. Later on the show, we're going to have for our feature segment, newly elected City Attorney Tearman Spencer will be doing an interview with our Tammy Rivera. And just a quick little review so you know what's coming up next week. Monday, we're going to have Tomas Glassen. He is a community engagement manager from ACLU. Later on in the week, we'll have Cristina Huertan. She's a dementia care specialist with Milwaukee County with some really, really vital updates for some of our vulnerable people, our elders that we always want to support, of course. So she's going to give us some great tips. And then later on in the week, we'll also have Melissa McGowie. She is a grant compliance manager, and she'll be discussing the newly launched Financial Navigator program. And I believe we'll also have someone from RiverWorks joining us as well for that program. So we're so excited, and we're hopeful that you can join us next week. Besides that, just going to see if we have any comments yet. Not quite, but always hoping that you can say hello to us, or if you have any questions in our interview, we'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you get a moment to fill out our survey, we would really appreciate that. But besides that, up next, I'm going to go ahead and invite on Tammy Rivera, our Executive Director.
Buenas tardes. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you. I love your costume.
Thank you for the idea, and thank Gabe for originating it for us to celebrate with all of you, getting some joy in these very challenging times. I appreciate my team being creative and being together on things. Gracias. I'm gonna just share a couple of things that are coming up that I thought of to give you all a heads up. Our offices are going to be closed the week of Thanksgiving. And but the forum is going to continue with some special programs for you that week. We will have a lineup of other live programs we participated in that you might not have caught, which is the 50th anniversary of the takeover of Chapman Hall, or the what started, initiated the Roberto Hernandez Center at UW Milwaukee. We will also be sharing a program that we participated in with the Marquette University Urban Research Training and Outreach Department on Latinas. And also, we will be sharing the program we did with the Latino Chamber of Commerce on nonprofits, and our appearance at This is Milwaukee with Adam Carr. And last but not least, the interview that I did and why I became an organizer with the Wisconsin Leadership Development Project. So you can look forward to special programming during Thanksgiving. And then during the last 2 weeks in December, we will have an edited version of our top 10 programs. And we'll also include in there any critical announcements you need to hear. But we'll be looking at the statistics for the forum viewership and pulling out those top 10 interviews to bring back for you. And we'll do, a countdown from 10 to 1. So, look forward to finding out what those were. All right, folks, I am really happy to virtually meet, even though I've casually met our city attorney in other venues, but to formally have him on the forum for the first time. And I want to thank Andrea for making that happen through her connection. Please help me to welcome, as Andrea said, our newly elected city attorney, Tearman Spencer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on the show today. I look forward to this interview.
Hola. So you'll have to understand that I call my children monsters. And so today I'm wearing one of their hats, and it's Monster from the Muppets. So I don't want you on your first impression, Attorney Spencer, to think, what's going on with SOC CD. So just to let you know, we're celebrating a little early with folks who will be in costume. So glad that you're here. What we'd like to do today is help folks understand a couple of things. One is, how about we just share a little bit about yourself? Go ahead and let us know what you studied, where you worked, why you wanted to be city attorney. And I'm sure you're used to hearing this from the campaign trail, but we'd love to hear it again.
Well, first, let's begin by saying I'm from Milwaukee, born and raised, educated here and other states, matriculated through MPS, went to MSOE, Oshkosh, then ultimately got my engineering degree from USC.
Awesome.
Went on from there to get a MBA from Golden Gate, and then I received 2 other degrees prior to going to law school to get my JD. So having those degrees behind me, working in engineering for extensive amount of time throughout the country, I always come back home. And I guess after finishing law school, now I'm leaving a lot of stuff out. Being a son of Milwaukee, you know what that means. All of us being here, we all belong to the city, and we all make stride together. So coming back after a brief layoff for medical reasons, I came back and I started seeing things that I did not like. So I started complaining. I complained one time after another until someone finally said, "Look, stop complaining. Either you're going to do something about it or be quiet." So I took the challenge to be about it. So, after seeing how we uh, have not always been involved or taking part of the changes that the city has endured, some of us get left behind. And I thought and I said, well, I need to do something. We all need to do something. We need to get together and see how we collectively can make that change. So I sought out to run. And fortunately, I had the support of your organization, all folks at Melanin, not all folks, but many that realized we were in this together and we have to make the change together. So I said, look, let's go do it. And with the help of everyone, we made it. So now we're here, and now we have an opportunity not to talk about it, but to be about it, to effectuate that change that we talked about and the momentum we had as we campaigned. So here I am looking for all the input I can get from all my brothers and sisters, Latina, so we can make that movement together. And here I am. You have me. Now,
Great.
it's a lot I left out of there, but the struggle remains. I could talk about being a little poor black kid in Milwaukee growing up, but when I was that young, I didn't think I was poor. So, the world was
Isn't
very
that
poor.
true? You don't
Yes,
realize it when you're a child because you got so much love.
you have so much love, and your friends, your people, the people that you know, the people you encounter. Back then, we were so full of love. You go to the neighborhood, we're welcome and we move. So here we are. And I'm here to say that whatever is needed, my door is always open. My ears are always open. And I'm your voice, as I stated on the campaign. We have a problem. I'm going to get in there and try to resolve it, try to find it. And if I can't resolve it myself, we're going to get to the bottom of it. But you have to remember, me being in position, I never thought that I would have thousands of problems coming every day. So they're there.
It's a big task before us. It is. It
Yes.
is.
But
Let's help folks understand what the role of the city attorney does, because a lot of people don't understand that. So let's give them a brief about what does the city attorney do amongst 1,000 things you have to tackle every day
so
overall.
okay, the city attorney's primary function is to defend the city. We are the lawyers for the city. All the departments, Department of Public Works, the Department of Employee Relations, you name it, Department of Health, the mayor, the council, Fire and Police Commission, MPD. We are actively their attorneys. But I don't know if you guys remember me on the campaign trail. I vow to be the voice for the people, not just being the attorney for the city, but without the people who comprise the city, we have no city. So someone have to be the voice for them. And that's me. So no matter what it is, if we talk about foreclosures, tickets that you receive, speeding tickets, we talk about potholes, we talk about any of the like, it concerns the city attorney's office. We talk about someone losing their life, someone being the subject of excessive force from MPD in the city attorney's office. So there's pretty much nothing that we do involving the city that does not concern the city attorney. You're having problems with your taxes, the city foreclosed on, it comes through our office. So, and I'm saying that, I'm gonna say that again. You're having problems with your property or your taxes, it comes through the city attorney's office. And I say that twice because you need to remember you have a friend in the city attorney's office. But I can't help if I don't know. So
Gotcha.
pretty much every aspect of our life that we deal with in that city, I'm there.
And how many people are on your team?
Well, we just recently, after arduous 6 months of trying to get there, I finally got my team of deputies. So we're together there. We have 66 employees in the office, dedicated to providing the services for the city.
Awesome. And of those, are they all attorneys, or you're talking about administrative staff, legislative reference bureau?
Approximately 40, 44 are attorneys, and the remainder are support staff administrative.
I had no idea that we had that amount of attorneys available to us. That's good to know.
Well, let me tell you something. There's not enough. There's not enough attorneys to service the
Oh,
problem seriously, and we're currently understaffed. We're understaffed about 4, 5 positions, 3 attorneys, and we need to get them drastically filled because lacking the attorneys in office causes a great deal of things for us, such as it puts us in a situation where when we in that situation, we can't service our clients in the manner we like to service our clients. So it sets us back. when you make a call for us to respond to, now we have to get on that long line before we can try to get it done.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then do you have services or folks in the team who can speak Spanish or other languages if people need the call?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
folks can call and get those those questions answered. And then you had held a press conference about working with protesters on the charges that they received during that. Can you share a little bit and update the folks who are listening with us today on that?
Well, again, part of what we do is, and we are charged with, and it's important that we understand that, is protecting your First Amendment rights to protest. So, as such, I don't know what's been done prior to me. I make sure that we take that very serious. And when we have peaceful protesters peacefully protesting, I don't think they should become the subject of citations and the whim of someone who's having a bad day. So it's incumbent upon me to make sure that I interject and I protect those rights. And as such, some things were not right, and I made sure that they were right. I righted them. So, and we hope that this is going to take place forever. And unfortunately, with the climate that we're in, we're always met with resistance. So, and criticisms. You can only imagine the number of calls I receive denigrating the fact that I did remove those citations. But as I stood up and as I campaigned, they didn't vote me in. And for those who voted me in, I'm going to stand up for your rights always. It's about the people. It's not about an individual. It's not about politics. So when the decisions are made, sometimes they may not appear to be something that everyone want to lean in and get behind. But by and large, I'll tell you, I'm never going to lie to you. I'm going to always be transparent. I'm going to be upfront. If I can talk about it, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do my best to resolve issues. I'm going to try my best to always be on the side of right and right the wrongs. So I don't care who it is. If they're wrong, I'm not supporting it. If they're doing wrong to our citizens, I'm not going to defend it. They deserve a defense, but I have an obligation to make sure that we look at truth first and we look at who comprises the city. And so often it's been left alone, left aside. It's always been about the city and not the people. I think it's time we start making that change. It's about the city, of course, but it's about the people that comprise the city. And by Joe, here we are.
Mm-hmm. Let's clear up just some logistical things for folks. If they call for your office for any services or concerns, is there a cost for any of that to them?
No, there's not a cost when you make a call. Unfortunately, during COVID and others, you're not going to get a lot of response now because people are not there. So you may feel you're being neglected, but you're not. Not everyone is answering those telephones. We try to answer when we can. But if you have a concern, you have to deal with it. But there are costs always when you're trying to write a system or write a problem in a system. For example, I mentioned foreclosures. If you're in the process of foreclosure, and I'm not going to go all the way through that, but it takes a certain amount of time to get there. And once you get to that point and you want to go be heard, in order to get in front of BOZA to be heard, there is a fee.
Yeah.
So there are fees associated after you get so far. You get citations on your home. Of course, there are fees associated with it. But when you inquire to try to fix it, that information should not cost.
Good to know. Are there any other let's tell folks how they can get a hold of your office.
Just by going on, here we go online. I haven't done it myself yet. Go City Hall, I guess, Milwaukee.gov, and punch in City Attorney's office. And as you do that, it should populate a number for my office to be reached, and you can call. But again, have a little patience. Someone will eventually get to you. They'll answer that phone and be able to respond to your concerns. And due to the nature of folks being out with COVID, A lot of concerns that are not related to the city, they're not going to probably directly respond to it. They'll probably say, well, that's not in in our privy or in our wheelhouse. We don't do that. But typically when we have a staff there and the manpower, they will be more willing to aid you and direct you. But under the circumstances and due to the high volumes of calls, they address the ones that they can, and then those that they can't, they probably respond that we can't handle that because it's not part of what we do.
Got you. I'm going to ask my staff to go ahead online, look for those numbers and put them in the comments section. The link to the website, the city attorney's office, the phone number for the office. Please go ahead and pop those in the comment section for our folks. Before we end here, Attorney Spencer, is there anything you'd like for the community to know before we close up today?
Sure. You tell the community that I'm the same person that I started off as. My vision and my concerns are the same. First and foremost are the people, the voice of the people, by the people, for the people. So when you can't be heard, get to me. You'll get heard. I'll be your voice. I'll be your champion. I'll be your soldier. You got me here. I plan to stay here till we get this resolved. And I'm not going to be able to do it without you. I need your help. And those who didn't support me, give me an opportunity to earn your support. I didn't get it coming out the gates. Give me an opportunity to see that I am working for you and me and us. So
Gotcha.
thank you again for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. Be safe, and we look forward to seeing you on the forum again. Adios. Folks, I just want to share that we have that information from the city attorney's office available for you now, where the office is, what the phone number is. And I just want to restate again what Andrea shared, our disclaimer that the views and opinions shared here are not necessarily those held by SOC, and we're a nonpartisan organization, so we're not able to endorse any candidates. But our city attorney is acting in his position and sharing information. Thank you, City Attorney Tearman Spencer, and I'm going to turn back the program to Andrea.
Yeah, I was so riveted by the conversation, I forget to unmute. So thank you for that great interview, Tammy. We appreciate you so much.
Gracias a ti.
Gracias. And I'm going to be checking. Thank you so much to Marlene for putting in the comments how to reach out to City Attorney Spencer. I also want to just let you know, I can tell you for a fact, he is very accessible. I remember the first time I met him, I was doing some organizing for the taco truck ban on National, and I met him through Congresswoman Gwen Moore, and it was an incredible experience. And so far, whenever there's been little issues that I'm trying to help out residents with, he's been incredibly helpful with some information. And there's a lot of city ordinances out there. So if you ever get a chance to look at Legistar and look through them, his office is a great place to get some guidance. So I highly do recommend it. All right, just looking at our viewers right now. We see a few of you. I realize it's Friday. Some of you might be getting busy making your weekend plans, and we totally respect that. But if you get a chance to say hi to us, we'd love to hear from you, or if you get a chance to share our show. And don't forget, later on, you'll find the Spanish version on YouTube. We'll also have the English version, of course, as well. So you can see us anytime, but we hope that we can see a few of you live today. Up next, we're going to have a video set up for from our COVID-19 coordinator, Marlene Zaran, that'll come on next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. This is Marlene Zaran, and I will be covering the COVID-19 segment for today. Just want to let you all know that it is important to go get tested for COVID-19 during this time, especially with the flu. So I advocate for you guys to go get your flu shot and to also get tested for COVID-19 at one of the free testing sites. So that being said, today I'm going to be going over some of the COVID-19 numbers that we have for today. So I'm going to be going over the map of each district. So if you can see here, you'll see that we have District 12 and District 8. District 12 is with Alderman Jose Perez, and District 8 is with Zamaripa. So if we click on District 8, it'll give us all the numbers for District 8. So for District 8, if we look here, there are currently 3,125 cases, and there have been 23 deaths. So yep, that is quite a lot. As you can see here, the map shows the case level. So the lowest would be in green, and then the higher you go gets more orange. So we're in the higher section for District 8. And then if we see here, the total deaths by age group, you can see like around 120 individuals have died from COVID-19 that are 65 to 80. And then around 100 individuals were 80 and up that have passed away from COVID-19. More females have passed away. More females have had COVID-19 than males in this district. So 14,676 cases were female, and then 12,529 were male. By age group of the number of people who are getting COVID in this district, we have 15 to 24-year-olds. There were 5,702 cases. And then if we see here, we have 6,157 cases in 25 to 34-year-olds. And then here we have 35 to 44-year-olds. There were 4,541 cases. And then once we get to here, 45 to 54 years old, we had 3,689 cases, and 55 to 64, 2,582, and then 65 and up, 2,324. In this district, so again, this is district. District 8.
I apologize so much for everyone with that. We'll definitely make sure that you can get that information in a post from Marlene later. But for some reason, we're having a little difficulty playing that one, but we'll make sure that you definitely get that info because that update is very important for us. Thank you so much, Marlene, for setting that up. Up next, we're going to have a civic engagement update from our civic engagement manager, Gabe Charles. She also had a really quick note she wanted you to know. If you're going to be going to Zablocki, and it might be happening at other locations, but it's especially our Southsiders, there is going to be food available for any of you waiting to vote. So that is another good reason to get out there this weekend. But her video up next will be, what are your options for voting this weekend?
Hey everybody, Gabe Charles here, or Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls. And yes, this weekend is Halloween weekend, también Día de los Muertos cae este fin de semana, and we hope that everyone is able to find a way to celebrate safely with friends and family. But also, I want to make sure everyone knows that this weekend is the last weekend that you can early vote in Milwaukee. And I just want to make sure everyone knows what their options are for voting this weekend, so you can just go ahead and get it over with and not have to worry about going to vote on November 3rd, this Tuesday, for the election. So where can you go to early vote? On the south side, you can go to Zablocki Library, Mitchell Street Library, Tippecanoe, and Bayview Library. from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And what can you expect when you walk into those libraries? What you're going to do is you're going to present your ID, which has to be something that shows your face and your birthday, which can be a state-issued ID, your license, a college ID, a tribal ID, something like that. And then they will give you your ballot that corresponds to your voting ward. Then you'll vote just like you would on election day, but the only difference is you're going to seal it in an envelope instead of feeding it into the machine to count it, because they can't be counted under state law until the election day. So they will be securely monitored 24 hours until election day. Again, super easy, really, really viable way to vote. And I also just want to make sure that everyone knows you can also drop your absentee ballots at these locations as well. At this point, it is too late to send your absentee ballot by mail. It will likely not arrive on time because it needs to arrive to the Election Commission by 7:30 p.m. on election day. So right now it's too late to be sending it back by mail. So we are encouraging everyone to submit their absentee ballot, if they still have it, at an absentee ballot drop box at these libraries. So again, Zablocki, Mitchell Street, Tippecanoe, and Bayview Library have these secure drop boxes. That's how I voted. That's how many of my friends and family have voted. So it's definitely a viable way to get your absentee ballot in on time. So again, early vote this weekend, get those absentee ballots dropped off this weekend. Those drop boxes are open 24/7, so you can go beyond the hours that early voting is available. But please, please, please go and get that done this weekend, everybody. Happy Halloween, Feliz Dia de los Muertos, and big hugs to everybody. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much to our Civic Engagement Manager, Gabe Charles, for that incredible update. She is definitely our superhero, so love seeing her as a Powerpuff Girl. And as she said, it is too late right now to mail in your ballot and to guarantee it'll get there safely by next Tuesday. So please make the effort to drop it off in person. They are definitely making sure that it is a safe experience for you all. And at some locations, there will be actually some food to feed you as you wait in line. So very thankful for that. I'm going to check in very quickly with our comments. I'm hoping to get a couple hellos. I realize it's a big weekend for a lot of you, but if you get a moment to say hello, we would love to see it. Or maybe tag a friend if you think they can benefit from some of the information we have today. Very excited because up next we're going to have another interview with Alan Canacasco. He is our Public Allies intern, and he's going to be meeting with Tony Pensiera, Coretta Herring, and our very own Clary Morales to discuss the Anti-Displacement Fund. Hi, Alan.
Oh, hello, Andrea. Good to see you.
Second Friday, second interview. You're jumping in. We love that.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I'm excited to interview these folks, and you know, end the weekend, get some Day of the Dead celebration, all of it. I missed the memo about the costume, but you know.
We just made it up 5 minutes, like right before the show. We're like that. We just kind of go with the flow. We're constantly partying. You'll see that soon.
Gabe had a really good costume too, so.
Thanks.
I don't think I can outdo it. So.
No worries at all. We're excited to hear your interview.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so if we could welcome Coretta Herring. She's a financial clinic director at Riverworks. Clarissa Morales works with SOC and with Riverworks as well. She is their community asset development specialist, and Tony Pensiera is the director of NK United. So welcome everyone. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. So we have about 10 minutes, and I want if everybody could take a little bit of time to introduce themselves and let us know who you are, what you do in the community. Yeah.
Well, I'll kick off. I'm Tony Pansera. I lead an effort called Milwaukee United, which is focused on connecting the prosperity and investment we've seen in recent years in the downtown to the surrounding neighborhoods. So work with Riverworks, SOC, a number of other organizations locally to figure out ways and strategies to help bring investment that doesn't cause displacement. And we'll be talking a little bit more about one of those strategies today.
Thank you for having me. My name is Coretta Heron, and I am the Financial Clinic Director. And the Financial Clinic is basically a hub for helping families who are experiencing some type of financial crisis. And what we specialize in is in helping families to overcome those challenges and reach whatever financial goals they set.
Clary.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again, as Ms. Coretta said, and as Tony said, thank you for having us on the show today. And I am with Riverworks, the Community Asset Development Specialist, and the reason that I'm on the show is because of last year when the anti-displacement hit the south side of Milwaukee and Southside Organizing Center was put into place to go and make contact with the residents that were affected by anti-displacement. Travis Hope and I and two other persons went out and did door knocking, and we knocked on 265 doors just to let the residents know that this was available for them if they had any questions or concerns or thought that it may be some kind of a scam. Because you can never be too sure about one thing, especially when it comes to you're providing a service for them. It is at no cost to them. It will benefit them. How to get a person to feel trustworthy enough to give you their personal information. So that's why I came on the show today, because if any of the persons from anti-displacement are watching, they'll remember seeing my face at their door multiple times.
Very cool. That's an interesting point, but I mean, as we'll continue talking about this fund, we'll ensure that people feel safe and et cetera, et cetera. So can anybody tell me a little bit more about what the anti-displacement fund is and how it got started? Kind of what your role is in this?
Yeah, well, I can give some of the backdrop of where it came from. I think as many folks that SOC engages with, and certainly folks working with communities around the city are aware that some of the downsides of investment that have happened recently have been increase in prices, difficulty of people being able to keep up with their property taxes, as Attorney Spencer spoke earlier in the program. And I think that came through really loudly from the resident voices to the leadership of Milwaukee United, which is a partnership between the Greater Milwaukee Committee, the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, the City of Milwaukee, the Urban League, and LISC. And so we really wanted to address that as one of the earlier things we took on. So building off of some of the research that the city had done into where gentrification and or displacement was occurring, where we could actually see it happening with data. We built this pilot program of a fund looking at a model that the city had outlined from Atlanta, which was the first one in the country. We're the second one in the country. So Milwaukee cutting some new trails here. Creating this fund to help ensure that long-term low-income homeowners aren't forced out of their neighborhoods, essentially, if they've been in the community and committed to the community for a long time, in these areas where we know displacement is occurring, we really want to ensure that the property taxes aren't the reason that they're getting forced out. And if they want to capture equity from selling their home and moving somewhere else, we're supportive of that, and we want them to realize the full value that their home has now, but we don't want it to be something that anyone is forced into a position to do. So we worked with the alders, we raised a number of funds, and we were able to raise enough to launch this initial 5-year pilot, which we're in the second year of now, and working on. Coretta and Clary and team are working on getting folks enrolled and eligible. we think that there's a lot more folks that are eligible that didn't apply last year, which is one reason we're on the program today, and really want to encourage, if you think you might be eligible based on the geographies that we're operating in, to please apply and get that application in early so we can get as many folks enrolled as possible.
For Claudia and Coretta, how does the application process work, or how you guys walk through folks in our communities through this anti-displacement fund?
Okay, so I'll start off just by giving the brief qualifications. It's pretty simple. You need to reside in the program area is one, and the program area for the South is basically the Walker's Point neighborhood, east of I-43, the highway. So if you live in that program area and you are an owner of the property, or owner occupied of the property, and you've lived there for at least 5 years, or you inherited the house for 5 years, you're current on your taxes, and you qualify income-wise, you should submit an application. And even if you're not sure, just submit an application either way. I like for the committee to know the need that's out there. Even if you think you don't qualify, please submit, because we take all of that information and we put it together, and we may not be able to qualify if you don't meet those qualifications, but there may be something else that we can help you with. So first and foremost, we want to, throw out the qualifications. And then I wanted to let everybody know that there's a bunch of ways. I know COVID is here and people are worried about moving around. There's several different ways in which you can submit an application. You can do it by way of through a regular mail. You can mail in your application. You can also use a secure website that we put together that's secure. Your information will be secure. It'll get to us and we can process your application. Or you can drop off. There's 2 drop-off locations. There's UCC on the south side, or you can bring it directly to us and we can process the application for you. And all you will need is an ID. We will need a copy of your 2019 tax returns, and not the full packet. We just need the 1040 and the application. And the last thing that I just want to encourage families that's listening, don't wait until the deadline. Do it now. Like, just get the application in. I know a lot of people want to wait until they get their tax bill before they submit it, but no need to wait. Send your information in now. Just in case there's things that we need and we still need to get from you. We don't want you to wait to the deadline and then you miss out on the opportunity to get help with your property taxes.
Since we're on that topic, when is that deadline? Could you tell us a little bit more about when people should have that application ready, set to go?
Okay. Tony, you can go ahead and speak to that.
Sure. I believe it's the 25th of November, and I'll just double down on what Coretta said. We really want, for folks that are eligible for this benefit, we really want to make sure that we can have this applied in advance of property taxes being due in January, and getting applied and determining that eligibility in advance of even when you get your property tax bill will speed those things up so we can really guarantee that. So we know sometimes it's not going to be urgent until you get that letter from the city saying, here's your bill. But if you can get essentially pre-qualified for this benefit, we can make sure that increase to your taxes is paid for in advance of the timeline.
I think I touched on this, but I just kind of want to emphasize it. If you have applied in the past and qualify, can you reapply and still qualify?
Clarissa, you want to answer that?
Yes. As a matter of fact, at the beginning of this month or the end of last month, we had made a contact with about 190 of the families that had submitted applications last year, even if they didn't qualify and they still submitted applications, just to let them know that they needed to do a recertification to be able to continue with the program. It's, once a year, most of the information we would still have that would still be valid, such as identification that hasn't expired, or their award letter from disability or Social Security. And then, of course, the others that have their income, they have completed. We would hope that everybody has completed their income tax for 2019 when we're already almost in 2021. that's also something else that if a person has some issues with gathering that information, we'd be able to help them to navigate being with the COVID and not having access to the Social Security Administration, not having access to the IRS where you could just walk in and say, here's my $5. Can I get a transcript of my previous year's taxes? We're trying to make this as easy for the residents as possible because we know that a lot are homebound and cannot come out of the house. And we just need to know this information so that we're better able to assist you. And even when a person does not, or they do not qualify, or they didn't qualify last year, we don't want that to deter them because with COVID, the circumstances have changed so much. And people, their income levels have changed drastically. And, so there's a lot of different things going on now. So just to be able to make sure that the residents know that we are here. And, I wanted them to see that I was the same person that came out, and talked to them so that they were familiar and know, I remember that. And being that I was with SOC, and I'm still very part-time with SOC, and now being here at Riverworks to be able to still be part of this program that is so valuable to the residents that we are serving both on the north side and the south side is a wonderful thing. So we just want to make sure that everybody is aware of this.
Thank you, Clary. Any final thoughts, any ideas that for the community?
I have one last request. I would ask that even if you don't qualify, tell a neighbor. Make sure everybody in the Walker's Point area know about this. Make sure they submit the application. Don't try to qualify yourself. Leave it to us. And if you run into a glitch, feel free to call myself or Claudia. She'll reach out. She'll even come pick it up if that's what it takes.
I sure will, and have done that. Also, we want the residents to know that it's also Clock Tower Acres. It's not just the Walker's Point, because Walker's Point, there's two areas that are affected by anti-displacement, which is the Walker's Point, which is the bigger. And if you tell people, there's this program for Walker's Point, and is more popular than saying, hey, we got this program for Clock Tower Acres, which is the neighborhood I grew up in and is very dear to me. So I want everyone to know Clock Tower Acres is also involved as part of this project. So if you live in that neighborhood south of Greenfield Avenue to Burnham or Beecher, Burnham area, this program also, you're affected by these tax hikes.
Very nice. Clary, Tony, Coretta, thank you very much. I really appreciate having you guys here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Excellent, and gracias to Alan for that incredible interview. I can say for a fact the MKE United Anti-Displacement Fund has been very, very purposeful in making sure that they're raising up resident voice. Our team has helped even co-author a feedback loop to make sure that residents are being heard and making sure that all levels are being heard. So very thankful that SOC can be a part of this plan, and so grateful for our wonderful Clary Morales, who is now, she unfortunately keeps reminding me that she's very part-time at SOC. I wish she was here all the time. I'm thankful she's my neighbor and I still see her, but she is just instrumental making sure that people on the South Side last year were part of the anti-displacement, and this year she's working directly with Riverworks to make sure that we get even more residents locked in for a 5-year tax area, so they're not getting bumped up on their taxes. And also so grateful for that. Thank you so much for that interview. Up next, we're going to have a promo for our SOC survey. The link you will find in the comments, but this will be coming from our marketing and communications manager, Marisol Diaz.
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take a quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much. And I have my little girl Luna here joining us. We have so many costumes, and we hope that you're all going to be safe this weekend. I know our family is going to actually be doing two piñatas, one for her and one for her brother. So we're safe, and we're still doing some trick-or-treating at home. And we also want to say Feliz el Día de los Muertos. This picture is always behind me. This is Luna's grandmother, Sylvia Rodriguez. She was a organizer. She was a mother, a leader, a union worker, so many great things. And we lost her too early, but we know she's looking upon us. So if you're with your families this weekend, we're hopeful that you're celebrating, and we honor you all. Thank you so much. Next week, we have some incredible guests coming. Tomas Klassen from Community Engagement Manager from ACLU will join us. Cristina Huerta, Dementia Care Specialist from Milwaukee County, will also join us. And then Melissa Guagne will be coming discussing the Financial Navigator Program. So thank you, everyone. Be safe. Be well.
Hi, Community Forum. I'm Marisol Diaz, Communications Manager here at SOC, here with Apollo. We would like to thank everyone for supporting our 3 o'clock with SOC live show and for completing our SOC survey. In addition to thanking our residents for tuning in and sharing our show, we would also like to thank the following sponsors: Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grants, Neal Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voter Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Silver Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tides Foundation, City of Milwaukee Promise Zones, and all of the faithful individuals who support SOC through their personal donations. Thank you.